I'm Balachandar. A. Balachandar Kumar is my full name, and I am having totally 14 plus years of experience in this IT industry, right? And in this 14 years of experience, I've been working with many companies, right? And many companies not as an employee, and of course, I work with some companies as an employee, and I'm working right now as a tech consultant to the some small companies, I can say. Okay, and this small companies as a tech consultant I'm just working, and apart from this consulting, I do a lot of corporate trainings, online trainings, and you know classroom trainings. Okay, and I do deal with many technologies here. There are many types of technologies that I'm going to train here. Like when I just talk about Linux, when I talk about Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux is one of the most used flavor in this real industry. And apart from this, Ubuntu and Oracle Linux, I do training. And apart from this, like we have Oracle Solaris 10 and 11. And apart from this, like we have IBM AIX and VMware and the cloud technologies, right? And apart from we have something called Veritas Suite, maybe you have heard or not, I don't know. Basically, Veritas Volume and Cluster is most used application for storage redundancy. I mean, disk IO, or we can say data redundancy, we can say. Like maybe you have heard something about RAID in Windows, or you have heard something about LVM, right? Okay, on the top of this Veritas volume manager is used. And you know what is cluster? Cluster is nothing but the two machines that provide one single service is called cluster, right? So I do the training this for VXVM and VCS, and apart from this I do job support and certification support and certification assistance. So till from last 10 years, okay, from last 10 years I am doing trainings. I started my career doing trainings from Windows networking C. Okay, then I started going with Linux, Unix, like this. So almost I have trained 2500 plus students all over the world. This includes all the classroom, corporate, online, everything. Okay, getting it. So I also take a customized trainings also. So customized trainings means a client will give me a course content, and based on that we will be working on it, right? So this is all about my experiences here, right? Now let me take you into the other thing. I mean, the next slide, we can just go into the next slide here. So the next slide, when I just talk about today's agenda, like what we are going to discuss today, we are going to see here, right? So when I just talk about today, let me first tell you what we are going to see. Today we are going to discuss about what is Red Hat Linux, how it came. Like most of the people, they said that Linux is open source. You should know what is open source, what we can do with the open source, why market is keep on changing, how the open source is going to influence your market or job market or anything, we can say, right? And we are going to discuss open source and about the Red Hat, and we will discuss something about learning path and certification. See, most of the people, they are lagging in learning path and certification. Okay, certification you can put it aside. Most of the people, they are lagging in learning path. So I'll tell you what is this learning path and the student opportunities. Like you will say that I'm learning Linux, I'm learning Windows, I'm learning cloud, I'm learning this and that. Okay, still I am not able to get the job. Why? What are the reasons? All these things we are going to discuss. Okay, okay. So now let me first take you into the our first agenda, that is called what is open source. Yeah. Okay, so before we talk open source, let me also give you some information about how Linux came into an existence. So I hope everyone know this, because most of the times when I just talk about a Linux, right? Whenever I talk about a Linux, people say that Linux is Unix-like operating system. What they say, Linux. Okay, Linux is Unix-like operating system. So most of the people, they will say, why Linux is called Unix-like operating system? Is it really Linux came from the Unix? Who brought it? How it came? right? So these are all very important things. So if you want to understand all these things, very simple concept, I'll just take 1-2 minutes, not more than that, to just give you a brief history about the Unix here, right? So let me show you that I'll just take you to the 1969. So I can say in 1969 Unix was introduced at something called AT&T and Bell Labs, we can say, by the Ken Thomas and Dennis Richards. These are two people, they have developed it. Okay, and what they did is, they made it as an open source, and from 1970 onwards, it's people started using this Unix. And whenever people started using this Unix, it was in the market using two different flavors. One is open source, okay, the other one is commercial. Remember, another one is commercial. So when I just talk about open source, you should understand what is open source, right? Most of the time when I say open source, people say it is free, right? It is right. Whatever people is saying open source means it is free, it is good, it is a correct, it is not a correct meaning, but partially we can say that it is a free. But open source means, remember one thing, code is open to everyone. Code is open to everyone, right? So you will say what I will do with the code, right? What I will do with the code, really, because you don't know what is Linux, what is Unix, what is operating system, what you do with this code, yes or no? But remember one thing, code is open to everyone means if you have a good knowledge in developing an operating system. Take an example, you have a very good knowledge in writing scripts, right? 100% you can, you know take the open source of the Unix and you start developing it. This is what you used to do, right? And in this open source, I will just take one operating system name. I'll just take, that is called Minix. We will just talk about, I'll tell you why I'm taking only this, I'll just give you that information. And second thing is, we are talking about commercial. Commercial means it is nothing but buy and use. Okay, at that time we need to buy the license and then try to use it. And if you buy the license, you can use by taking a support from the whatever the Unix flavors companies are. Let me take some of the Unix flavor companies here. That is called IBM is having their own flavor of Unix, that is called IBM AX, right? Oracle, right now Oracle is having their own flavor of Unix, that is called Oracle Solaris. I hope you know this. Okay, and for example, HP has its own flavor of Unix, that is called HP Unix, BSD Unix, Silicon Graphic Unix. Like this, so many flavors of commercial operating systems we have in Unix. So what is this? These commercial operating systems are very expensive. Initially, when they started this commercial operating system, it was majorly used in, where it is used. It is used in something called scientific research labs. It is used in NASA. It is used in defense, air force. It is used in somewhere called to find out how the weather, how to, I mean, to communicate with their satellites. All these things are being communicated using this. Okay, but later on, what happened after 1990s, or I can say after 1995, now it's the Unix was started using in something called banking sector, in telecommunication sector, right? And even this Unix was used in some other sites, like eBay was using it. So many companies, they started using this Unix because they felt that, yeah, to run their applications and tools, Unix is the best operating system. Their hardware is very robust. I can compare this Unix with your iPhone. iPhone runs only with iOS. Remember? You are aware of it, right? So can I put Android OS in it? No. That's the reason iPhone is called proprietary, right? If you want to buy iPhone, you need to buy iOS also. Of course, they will not charge for iOS. It is built it is built in come with your iPhone. This is what happens, right? So this is like two flavors, open source and commercial. And when I'm talking about like a Minix, we are going to talk about, it's an open source. So how this Linux came into an existence, we will just try to discuss here. Just give me 1 minute, I'll just complete it very fastly, because this is all the history, you can get it from internet, but still, right? So like I can say that 1990s, up to 1990s, there was only Unix and DOS, we can say, but we don't have a Linux there. So what happened is in 1990s, there was a student with the name called Linus Torvald. Maybe you have heard about him, Linus Torvald, right? Okay, so Linus Torvald is what he was as just student. Okay, he was just a student in a college, like where he's doing his graduation, his college management. asked him to do a project. So his college management decided to do the project on something called Minix here. So Minix was an open source operating system at that time. So what happened, like everyone started doing a project, and he also did the same thing. He downloaded and just working with the Minix for his project. And when he was working with the project, he was more comparing with this Minix with the commercial operating system and other operating systems which are Unix flavors, right? So what he did is he was just comparing, and he was just calculating the things, why these features are there only in commercial, why these features are not there in open source, why people are not giving everything for free like this. He was just thinking. So what he decided is just to develop an operating system, but he don't know how to develop it. But he has a source, right? That is called Minix is a source of Unix. So he took the source of Unix and started developing it. And he took 3 to 6 months time. He kept all his ideas into his Minix. And later on, what he want to do is he don't want to send his all developments with the same name. So what he did, he was looking for this name, that name, this name, that name. Then he finally decided to go with Linux. So previously it was called Linux. Later on, it got renamed as Linux. That is a different story, right? So this is how exactly it is going to come. And this is basically how the Linux came into an existence. And I will tell you, there is a when I just talk about Linux or Linux, what this Linus Torvalds did is, after naming it, he made Linus as open source. Linus as a open source. Remember that Linus as a open source, and invited students all over the world, saying that you can download the Linux open source operating system, and you can uh, you know on one condition you can download and you can develop. What is that condition here is very simple. Okay, you should not change the name called Linux. You should not change the name called Linux, right? So this is what happened all over the world. People started downloading this Linux operating system, and developing it. That is the reason I will tell you, there are many flavors of Linux that you can find, even you can't count. Okay, there, if I want to tell you, if I 6 years back, only when I was searching in a Google, there is something 30,000, 40,000 flavors of Unix, I mean Linux operating systems are there. Now I will tell you, there are more than 1 lakh or 2 lakh, I mean 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh open source operating systems we have. So you will ask me, what is the use of these many operating system? Why people are crazy? Why they are developing this? Why they are developing it? See, Linux is an open source, everyone know that. So I want to develop the Linux for gaming. You want to develop the Linux for security. Some other want to develop the Linux for websites. Some other want to develop the Linux for some other things. Yes or no? So everyone's requirement is different. Every company client's requirement are different. Because of these reasons, everyone are taking the source of Linux and started developing it. Getting it? So this is how Linux came into an existence. Because Linux is an open source, there are lot of things coming into the market. If I want to tell you, everything is developed based on the Linux only, right? Okay, so this is a small story about how Linux came into an existence, right? Now let me, anyhow we are coming to an open source, right? Let me give you like what is open source exactly, how exactly this it is going to work. We will just try to see that, right? So when I'm just talking about open source, we are going to see, so term open source refers to something people can modify and share, because it's design is publicly accessible. And based on this open source, there are so many companies are working. If I want to tell you, Fedora is working, JBoss is working. Okay, oh, what, that is nothing but Red Hat virtualization built in based on that. Red Hat cluster, I mean storage. Okay, I mean cluster, we will say, that is called we resilient storage or storage level solutions are developed. And Red Hat OpenStack, OpenShift, all these things are developed based on this open source community only, right? So this is the thing. So the development is happening very vastly, right? Before you test anything, it's new thing is coming into the market. Before you test that, another thing is coming. Before you test a new version, the new other version is coming into the market, right? Before you see one release, the other release is coming into the market. So very fastly the technology, people are running behind the technology, people are developing to capture the technology. This is what happening here, right? So this is basically how exactly this open source is helping the entire world, right? Even if you have a good knowledge of developing, that if you are good knowledge of writing Unix program or Linux program, and I'm telling you, right, you can take the source from the internet and you also can download and develop it for your requirement, right? People develop Linux for talking Linux, speaking Linux, so many things are there, so many things. I'm telling you, you can find so many things. Even Linux is acting as a storage also. Even Linux is acting as antivirus also, right? So many things we are having. Even Linux is acting as a firewall also. Okay, so there's so many things we have. So this is the benefit that you're going to get. Okay, so now let me take you into the thing, the business impact of open source, like how it is going to open source, how it is going to impact the business. So why open source? Like keep the cost down. Yes, because you know that when you go for some commercial operating systems like Unix, you take, it's very it's very costly, very expensive operating system, Unix, right? So, and if you want to replace the Unix, as most of the people, they are taking a U-turn towards the Linux. Okay, almost the people are using a Linux. It is very less cost and improves the quality. Yes, 100%. Delivers the business agility and mitigates the business risk. That is nothing but it provides very less business risk. Right? You can trust this operating system. It is proven. Right? So this is basically how it is going to happen. So these are all the benefits that we are going to find on the open source, right? So that is the reason people started using this open source in the real industry, or not only real industry. You go to any company, with a small company with a 4 to 5 servers, and a big company like you take about Facebook, Google, or any banking sector or telecommunication sector. Not only telecommunication sector, I'm telling you, even you go for stock exchanges nowadays, people are using, in the place of mainframe, they're using Linux, right? So this is the benefit here, not Linux, Red Hat Linux, right? People confuse here. If I say Linux, they will take any other open source Linux, like they will say that I will work on CentOS, I'll work on Fedora. No, CentOS and Fedora is also used in a real environment. I'm not saying it is not used, but when it comes to the production, people use only Red Hat Linux. So why like that? We will discuss what is the reason there. So let me go into a thing. So you can see more than 90%, or you can say Fortune 5, Fortune 500 companies around the world currently rely on Red Hat. So this is a product line of Red Hat. Red Hat provides Red Hat operating system. Okay, it provides JPOS for a middleware. It provides virtualization. So when we talk about virtualization, I know that you are very much familiar with virtualization, which we call it VMware, right? A same kind of virtualization even Red Hat provides you. And even we talk about cloud, like people are running behind the cloud nowadays. You talk about AWS cloud, you talk about Salesforce application cloud, right? Even Red Hat has its own cloud product, and we also have a storage solutions also. This is all what we are going to talk, right? There is a wide range of product nowadays inside the Red Hat, I will tell you, because Red Hat is one of the big company that provides the product. Like even you talk about security side, you go at cluster side, you go at container technology, you talk about automations. Maybe nowadays most of the people who are working in IT industry, you know that automation, right? People are learning DevOps. DevOps comes under automation, right? People are learning Puppet, Chef, Jenkins, right? Terraform, like so many technologies. And I can tell you, Red Hat has its own automation tool that is called Ansible, and it is most used, widely used in the real industry. People are now crazy to learn because of automation, right? So these are all very important things, right? Now let me go into the things here. So learning path and certifications here, basically because this is a just demo that we are, webinar that we are discussing here. Let me give you the learning path and certification here. Most of the people, they have a doubt, how do we learn Linux? Okay, most of the people, they learn Linux, but they don't know up to what level they are learning. Really, that level will support them to get a job or not, or whether they're getting that training, whatever the learning they are doing for Linux, whether it is a basic level or intermediate level or beyond the intermediate level, really they don't know, right? So that's the reason what Red Hat has done is they have created a learning path Red for Red Hat administration. So what they did is they have divided the entire course into two modules. Actually, it is not two modules. I mean, we can say it is two modules. What is the two modules? We will see. One is called RHCSA, the other one is RHCE, right? So whenever I'm just talking about RHCSA, RHCSA will contain two modules. One is RH124, another one is RH134, right? And RHCE, actually previously it was RH254 previously, right? So what they did, they replaced RH254 with RH294, right? So you'll ask me what is new in RH294? Nothing but Linux automation. It consists of Ansible, a basic level of Ansible, we can say, right? Because everyone need any administrator who's going to join a real environment. People ask them whether you know automation, you know how to run a script in 1,000 machines, you know how to create users in 100 users in 100 machines. I just want to know the CPU statistics in 1,000 machines. How do we know? So using this Ansible, you can learn, right? So basically this is a course like RHCSA and RHCE is the certified and Red Hat designed pattern, we can say. So in RHCSA, we are going to deal with RH124 and RH134. Okay, and as you complete this, and most of the times I will educate or give knowledge to clear, I mean to complete your certification. Why? I will tell you what is the reasons. We will discuss that. And apart from this, when it comes to RHCE, it contains RH294 and exam is EX294. That is what we know, right? And remember one more thing, most of the people doesn't know the roadmap of Red Hat. People come to me to learn Ansible, OpenStack, OpenShift, right? Or Red Hat, other courses we have. So whenever you are learning advanced level trainings, advanced level courses, when you learn and when you want to write an exam for this advanced level courses, Red Hat will ask you whether do you have a entry level certification in Red Hat or not. So you'll ask me what is entry level, that is called RHCSA. So without RHCSA, it is a gateway, it is a gate to come into this. So you need to complete RHCSA, then you can go for Ansible, you can go for OpenStack and OpenShift. Without RHCSA, still you can write Ansible, OpenShift, OpenStack. Okay, there's nothing like, okay, but it is not getting validated. Okay, so there will not be a proper track. So that is the reason I will recommend everyone to go like this, right? And apart from this, let me talk about certification here. Why certification is very important? Most of the time people ask me, because Red Hat certification is little bit expensive, but it is very, very important certification that industry demands, industry respect. I will tell you, if you say that I'm Red Hat certified, they will see in a different way, right? So why Red Hat certification only has this? You say I'm certified for Windows, no one will care about it. You say that I'm certified for cloud, no one will care about it, because they know how the certifications will happen, right? But whereas when it comes to Red Hat, it's totally different. It's totally different. You'll ask me why, right? I'll just tell you, because most of the time people write certifications, right? People write the certifications, they go for Microsoft, CCNA, Oracle, this and that. I know most of the exams will be a single question with multi-choice, a four choice. You need to select one of the choice answer, and you need to just complete your exam. And for that, if you have only a book reading knowledge, right? Theoretical knowledge, if you have, that is enough, right? Getting it? Okay, because there also you will get only the theory questions, only one question, multiple choice, you need to select one, right? But remember here, when it comes to Red Hat, really it is not a multi-choice questions. It is purely a scenario based exam, right? Getting my point? So we will discuss what is the scenario based exam. So they will give you a scenarios in the exam. They ask you to complete that scenario in front of them. In front of them means everyone, if 10 people are there, 10 people are going to sit in front of this machine as you're sitting right now in your in the front of your laptop or desktop. They will give you some machines on that machine, on virtual machines. They will start doing it. Okay, take an example. They will give you a question. Try to create 10 users. Okay, 5 users need to be a member of Java group, and another 5 users should be a member of Oracle group, and this password should be like this, and this password policy should be like this. They will give you this kind of customizations. You need to practically run the commands to complete that particular task. This is what happens. Okay, so you will say what is related with this practical exam and job, because you need to understand one thing: you are going to work in a live environment, in a production environment. Yes or no? So production means it is 24 by 7. If I want to tell you, your banking sector is a production environment, telecommunication sector is a production environment. You talk about Amazon, eBay, okay, anything you take, even Google, Facebook, anything you take, we are just using in front end, but in the back end all your data gets stored in some database is running on some servers with some operating system, right? So you should do everything a live operations there. So whenever you are doing a live operations, people always look for a person who have hands-on experience on the commands, hands-on experience on a scenario. Getting my point? Okay, so this is the importance about the certification here. It's a proven system. I'm telling you, it's a proven system, right? When it go to the any company, you say that I'm certified for RHCSA, I'm certified for RHCE, right? If you just mention, and it's a transparent certificate, I will tell you, once you complete RHCSA and RHCE, you can put this, you can give directly a link where they can verify your certification, right? So this will give the employee, okay, who are hiring you, the companies, HR or technical people, lot of confidence, saying that yes boss, you are clear the exams, you really have hands-on on Red Hat Linux, that the certification will prove you. So because of this reason, people are getting jobs, or they are getting appointed in the companies, right? Even it may be a fresher, even it may be an experience, whatever it is, right? Okay, so this is a thing. So you can see this in general, RHCS and RHC is known as crown jewel of Red Hat, Linux certification, and it will prove candidate eligibility via live system in an effective manner. So on that basis, RHCSA, RHCE, it will prove the candidate ability for installing, configuring the securities on servers, and then configure the network services which is running the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Basically, RHCSA and RHCE certificate are considered to be under mid-level certifications, which is for administrator who will support Linux operating system as a major server platform for their work field. So remember here, when I just say major server platform, you are working as anything. Most of the people, they said, I am a database administrator, why I need to learn Linux? I am a SAP admin, why I need to learn Linux? I am a Java admin, why I need to learn Linux? I am a Python scripter, Perl scripter, why I need to see, boss, everything is running from Linux, right? Yes or no? If you want to write a script for a user administration on Linux, you should know what command, what options, how it runs. Yes or no? You are installing some Oracle application. If you want to know how Oracle works on Linux, yes, definitely you should have little commands about Linux. Okay, little knowledge about Linux. You want to install Oracle, you have to create an Oracle user, Oracle group. You need to create one partition for Oracle to store the database and application. Yes or no? Suddenly the partition gets full. You want to increase that logical volume. You should know that commands, how to monitor that logical volume or file system. Okay, you want to know how many instances are running, okay, from your operating system. All these things are very, very important, right? Even I'm telling you one thing, people who are learning nowadays cloud, who are learning DevOps, who are learning some other technologies, they always ask me, why sir, why you are relating Linux with AWS or DevOps? I'm telling you, see, small example I will tell you. After this slide I will show you that why it is needed. I'll tell you for cloud, right? So let me go into the other slide here because we have less time. So let me go into, this is exactly RHCSA certification here. You can just see that. So there's a is called EX200, and it consists, duration is 2.5 hours if you want to, because I'm giving you what is the weightage of the certification. I'm not forcing anyone to do the certification, but if you do the certification, I will tell you, it's, you will become like a hot cake to the companies, right? It will be just for you. You're getting a job. If not one opportunity, the second opportunity, 100% you're going to grab it. So this is what happens, right? So this is the thing, and the 2.5 hour, and it is a performance based task we will have. Okay, and 10 to 15 questions you get. The cost of the exam is 16.5 and 3 years. Okay, so don't look at the cost. Okay, so this is a thing. And what people say about this Red Hat certification, like, because you're investing a lot of money, right? So what people say here, this is all the feedbacks that we have collected from the real people who are working in the real time environment, who have done the certifications. Okay, return on investment over the 3 years of period through the IT team efficiently and improves the operation efficiently, right? So this is the feedbacks that we get from the real time companies, right? And this is not collected by me. This is collected by Red Hat, and just they kept it in website. I have just taken it. Even, of course, we have our own feedbacks also that I will show you later, right? Getting it, who have done the Red Hat certification level trainings, and who have done the certification, like the support that we give them. Okay, there are many people all over the world. They have taken the training online, have given assistance. They went in, they registered the exam, they went and they have written the exam, they scored. Okay, getting it, they did not pass. Passing is common, but apart from passing, they also scored very well. So this is the benefits that we can see, right? So then, apart from this, like you can see, like, student success and opportunities we are going to discuss. So when you just have completed your exams, like, most of the time people always check about salaries, how I will get, because I'm going to show you that real scenarios also. You go onto the Google, you just put Red Hat certified administrator jobs, right? You will get a lot of jobs. You will see nearly 1500, 1600 jobs for Red Hat certified, right, all over the India. Getting it? So there are very good opportunities for certified administrators, right? So this is the salaries, like which has been calculated in a form of dollars here. So this all this all statistics I have gathered long back, not now, right? But hikes also you can see. Okay, so this is a thing. And salary compositions, like how the hikes compare to Windows. Okay, Microsoft Windows, the hikes will be very good when it comes to the Linux administrator here, right? So this is the things. And let me get into this Linux growth, right? So this is the growth, like how exactly it is going to happen, right? Now let me take you, like, most of the times, I just want to show you the roadmap, because most of the people nowadays, they are learning cloud technologies, they are learning DevOps technologies, they are learning programming languages like Perl, Python, Ruby, Rail, or some other technologies. Really, they don't know how to start their career, right? Of course. Okay, so let me give you, because I'm having like 14 years experience. I just go to many companies for training, for jobs, for consulting work. Okay, I just interact with many students, many people, right? So when I just talk to them, they are good at some technology, they're lagging at some other technology, right? So like this I just see. So I just want to give you a small roadmap. This roadmap is very, very important, based on the industrial standard, based on my research and my friends who are in this IT industry from last another 20 years, 25 years. We did small research here, and I just created one roadmap here, right? Most of the people, when I just say where I have to start, you'll go to some training institute, you'll say that they are saying us to learn AWS, they are saying us to learn Terraform, they're asking us to learn this and that, but I don't know really from where I need to start, right? So always the start point is very, very important for us, right? So I'll just tell you, most of the people, they do a blunder mistake. Without learning the basics, they go into the advanced level, like people are learning. Okay, some cloud virtualization, automation, like this. Okay, then people doesn't know, like when you go for a cloud, I'll just give you a small example. If you really want to work with cloud, what you need, cloud means, what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but infrastructure administration. So most of the people doesn't know what is infrastructure. Infrastructure means I want to run one company. I have to build some infrastructure. I need servers, I need storages, I need routers, switches, connectivity. I need a good internet connectivity to connect from one branch to another branch. Securities, right? So many things, application, tools, databases. So many things. So people who don't have a knowledge about this infrastructure, people are getting into a cloud. So what happened? Most of the people, I'm telling you, if 100 people are learning cloud, only 10 people are getting succeeded. The another 90% of people are getting failed because they really doesn't know what is infrastructure. People doesn't know what is storage. People doesn't know what is hard disk types also. They don't know what is RAID, what is storage. They don't know all those basics. Even they don't know what is database do, right? They have learned somewhere in their engineering or in their colleges, but still need some brush up, right? So this is the thing here. So as we completed Red Hat Linux administration here fundamentals. So in this fundamentals, you will come to know how to handle the command line. Okay, you will come to know some concepts here like what is storage, what is partition, how do we install softwares, how do we remove the software, how do I monitor the process, how do I check the what we say resources consumption, like in Windows you open task manager, right? Like this, how do we check this is all we are going to learn. And when it comes to networking is very, very important, because the cloud is a remote machine, right? Like you're accessing your Google Drive. Until unless you will don't know how to log into a Gmail account, can we access Google Drive? No. At the same time, AWS is also something like, or any cloud technology is like this. Okay, so you should know what is network, what is SSH, what is NFS, what is FTP, right? You should know what is DNS, what is DHCP, what is NTP, how it works, right? What is firewall, what is proxy server. All these things you should know. And you should also know what is storage, how many types of storages, right? Well, there is a storage called DAS, NAN, DAS, NAS, SAN, iSCSI. Which storage is used? Database, you should know what is a RDBMS, DBMS, different types of databases, which one is used right now, right? There are so many Oracle database, MariaDB, MongoDB, so many DBs we are having, because people doesn't know. If I ask you something here, like if I ask you like Amazon is there, right? You are going to Amazon website to buy something. They're updating so much stuff. How they are updating? They're updating through the database only. Most of the people doesn't know it, right? You're making a call, all your transactions are recorded in the database only. You're going into the bank account, you're opening a bank account using your mobile banking, or you're opening your bank, you're connecting to your account using a internet banking or anything. Everything records in a database, right? So this is all the things. And apart from this, you should also have a knowledge about programming. It may be bash scripting or Python or Perl. This is a roadmap that you need to go. But you will say that, boss, to learn this, it takes a lot of time. Nothing, it just takes only 30 days. I just split it and I just kept it here. To learn all this, you're going to learn all these things in this program that is called RHCSA. Getting my point? Okay. And once you complete this, now you are called as system administrator. Now, as you are a system administrator, you know what to do on the system, how to build, how to install, how to configure, how to provide security, how do we work on different level of permissions. Then you are ready to go with any cloud technologies. It may be an application cloud, it may be a data, it may be a infrastructure cloud, anything here, right? So this is the way, like how the after completing you can go for automation tools like Ansible or Jenkins or anything. You can go for container technologies like Kubernetes or Docker, we will say, right? And you will call as a cloud engineer. If you will not stop at a cloud engineer, right? You want to become a cloud architecture, because no one want to work only in one technology for many years, right? We are not a government employees. Okay, we want to learn good, we want to upgrade our technology, we want to hike our pay scales. And if not India, I want to go abroad to build my career, right? Okay, financially or anything, you know so this is other concepts, and you can go for something cloud architecture or cloud engineer, if you call. Okay, this is an highest level of administration that you're going to say in this IT industry, right? Getting it? So this is how the roadmap is designed, right? Okay, so this is the information here, and this is all about my demo. Okay, about the technology, about the Linux, and about the certification, and how exactly certification is going to help. And this is my information here, and if you have any questions, you can come. So I always trust in change, growth, and success, because if you don't change yourself, you can't see a growth. If you're not able to grow, okay, if you're not able to see growth in your career, you cannot become success in any way, right? So this is what happened. Even I also do, I mean, most of the time, like my in my college, people used to, if you don't change with the change, a change will change you. So this is, so always you need to look for a change, right? So this is all about line. Let me give you some information here. Most of the time, like you have a doubts what will be the course content. Almost already I have gave you a course content here, but still I'm going to show you. This is outline of uh, our RH 124 here. So first we will go with something called get start with Red Hat Enterprise Linux, where we see like what is Linux, how the Linux came into existence, all these things. And the second chapter is about accessing to the command line here. So how do we access Linux in command line, right? Accessing command line means what is shell, what is kernel, how shell will work, how do I run the command. Okay, even in Linux we have a very good graphic environment. We call it as a genome, right? And apart from this, managing files from the command line, we will see how do we manage the files from the command line, file system hierarchy we will see. And we will be discussing about path expansions. Okay, then we will go into something called help. How do we take a help from the operating system? Basically we use something called man command, or we use a command called help, or we use a command called pinfo, right? All these things we will see, right? And apart from this, we are going to see something creating viewing. We are going to see how do we create a file here using cat, using touch, okay, using vim, okay. And we will discuss what is IO redirections, okay, if you put okay, all these things. And we are going to discuss about local user management, where we will be discussing about how do we create a user, how do we create a group, how do we log into the user locally and remotely, and how do we work with the password, aging, all these things. And then we will discuss something about controlling with Linux file system permissions. Here we will discuss about how do we work with chmod command, chown command, chgrp command. How do we work with something called a special permissions that we are going to see, like a sticky bit, setuid, setgid. And then monitoring, this is one of the important concept I can say. So monitoring and managing the file system is very important, right? Okay, and this is all the things, right? Controlling services and daemons. Okay, then like we have configuring secure services, SSH. How do we work with SSH? All these things we will see. Okay, so this is the things. Okay, 1 minute. Right. So this is basically configuring SSH here. How do we connect the remote server using SSH, analyzing logs, because this is one of the important concept in Red Hat. Because if you want to go for troubleshooting, you need to start from logs only. You should know how do we read the logs, all these things, managing networks, performing backups and archiving, installing, like we will discuss here, like about Red Hat package management. And then we will go with Linux file system and virtualization and analyzing servers, okay, and getting support, and there will be a comprehensive review, right? So this is the module 1 here. And the module 2, actually I did not prepare from this PDF, I'm having this. I'll also provide this soft copies to you, nothing to worry about it. And the second one is all about improving the command line productivity. So this is all about scripting, I can say this. So we will be discussing a basic level scripting here. What is script, how do we write a basic level script. We will discuss what is shell variables, what is loop, for loop, all these things, right? And scheduling a future task, we will be discussing about cron administration here. I want to take the backup of some server and I want to do it in somewhere odd hours, like night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You cannot sit that time, right? So you are going to schedule it using this. And tuning system performance, and this is one of the important thing, because most of the time system runs out of resources. How do we tune the system performance? We will see using the tuning profiles here. And then we will discuss about ACLs, access controllers, and we have advanced level security that is called SC Linux. Okay, then we'll go with managing basic storage. Here we will be discussing how the partitions will work, all these things. How do we create a file system? Then we go with the logical volume manager, okay, where we will be discussing what is PV, what is VG, what is LV, how do we create a file system. And in Red Hat 8, the new concept is this Stratis and VDO. Okay, these are new concepts in Red Hat 8. Okay, and we also discuss about NFS and booting process, like how your operating system gets booted, and then network securities like firewall. How do we secure your machine? And installing Red Hat Enterprise Linux using a Kickstart installation, we will see here, right? And this is a comprehensive. Totally, these two modules contain this 13, 12 plus that I'll say that 16 chapters. 12 plus 16, almost you have a 28 chapters. It takes around 40 I mean not 40, I mean not 45 to 50 hours of training. It is daily. Basically we plan for 1.5 hours, or sometimes we go for 2 hours, whatever it is flexible, right? So this is basically how we are going to do. And the lab environment is here. You can see this is a lab environment. Basically 2 machines are enough. Initially 1 machine is enough, server A. Server, I mean, if it, before, I mean, later on when you start working with that, I mean, the other concepts like networking, definitely we need minimum 2 machines, right? And this, like I'm going to show you like how the certification point of uh, questions also will come. All these things will be included here. Okay, so this is all about the lab setup, I can say. Okay, I'll show you practically once we start the sessions, right? So this is all the things. And one more thing here is people who are registering with me, they are getting benefited in taking training and getting the recordings. So I'm going to provide you a everyday recording, and in one web, I'll just put it into one link and you can access it for lifelong, right? So this is basically. So any doubts here, let me know. Any doubts you have, let me know here so that I can give you the information. Yes, no doubt. So fine. Uh, I'm going to just stop here because it's almost 1 hour, I think. So anything is there, you can get back to me on my WhatsApp number, on my number, which I gave you here. Okay, this is my number here. So 8341455495, or you can just mail me on this particular email address. Okay, so any doubts regarding the training or regarding the certification support or regarding the material or regarding any other things, you can ask me, right? Not only this, if any other things, not only you don't want to talk about Linux, you want to talk about any other programming, anything, so you let me know that, right? So thanks for, I hope like you don't have any doubts. Oh, let me see, I have not seen the chat. So I hope that you don't have any doubts. So I'll stop here. I'll end the tree. I'll just stop the session here. So thanks. Bye. Okay, a good day.